Well, you know, I did 8 hours. I did 8 hours of talking down in Las Vegas in this. I shot a DVD down there. So
Oh,
basically,
excellent.
that's an oral form of the book,
Sure.
visual oral form of the book.
Okay. And one thing I would like to ask also, if you could comment just a little bit on the economics of adopting the paleo diet or evolutionary fitness. I guess I think about it from a couple different angles. Is that a lot of the paleo diet perhaps is a little more expensive, or maybe a lot in some cases, than your basic grains that most people live on nowadays. However, I would anticipate that it would balance out as far as healthcare costs go for people, especially later in life. So would it be like a net wash as far as eating more expensive food and preventing expensive medical care later in life?
Well, have you priced a bag of chips lately?
Oh yeah, well a bag of Doritos, I think they're about $3.49 for a bag of Doritos. So that is pretty expensive.
I'm telling you, and particularly if you talk about the cost per nutrient, nutritional value, the junk food eating routine is extremely high priced. Um, I I don't know because I never, you know, it's been so long since I've eaten the way I guess a lot of people do. Um, what I see people doing in the restaurants is they'll order all this food, they'll eat all the bread before the food is served. They'll pick around the edges and eat some potatoes and a little bit of salad and maybe something else, and then they'll take that box home and they'll order pie.
Yes,
So
I've seen that as
that's a
well.
really that's an outrageous way to eat in a restaurant. You send the bread back, no croutons in your salad, no beans. You have them give you steamed vegetables or whatever instead of the usual.
Yeah.
And the cost of your meal is, and not drinking, the cost of your meal is dramatically reduced.
Sure, sure.
And you don't take anything home. If you do, you know, I eat everything. When order healthy food, and I eat it all. I eat a lot of food.
Well, that's
But
kind of. Oh.
and aside from your excellent point about the trade-off between eat cheap now and die expensively later, it's one way to think of it. There's also you have in terms of habitat uh, and reproduction. Remember, the reproductive rate came up after the discovery of agriculture, after the development of agriculture, because
Right.
the grain-based product made the women carry more body fat, and they had other helpers in the village to hand the child off, so they didn't do the prolonged lactation, which is a natural form of sterilization. So
Mhm.
population growth accelerated dramatically with the advent of agriculture. Not because people starved to death before, but because the mothers couldn't bear children beyond a certain natural rate, given they had to carry them and nurse them. So, and then, of course, with agriculture came the clearing of the woodlands and the deforestation and the narrowing of the crop spectrum to a few starchy crops, which ended up supplying the bulk of the world's calories.
Yeah.
Rats moved in at that same time. Rats joined our life, you know, started living with us because the other pests had been kind of cleared out due to clear cutting and planting. And so, if you look at the way the earth is cared for when an animal is raised in a natural way, you know, the earth is far cleaner and is better preserved.
Mm.
And there'll be less of this induced obesity and early onset. Remember, early onset puberty among females around the world. It keeps advancing each year, and it's primarily because of the grain-based diets that these people are on. That young women carry much higher levels of body fat than they did in the past, and so they reach the,
And that changes
you
their
know,
hormone balance, basically, is what you're saying, right?
yes, it is, and they're
Yeah.
more able to bear children at a younger age. So, you know, there are a lot of complicating factors involved there, but wild foods are, are more
So much
healthy and more
better.
sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
So overall, I mean, the economic benefits of having a more paleo diet and the environmental benefits. I mean, it's to me, I'm already convinced. I mean, I know that it outweighs, but you're saying it completely outweighs by a large portion the grain based, having access to cheap calories from an overall
Nice.
okay from an overall
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
Yes, I do think so, and the food industry will change. So right now they happen to be heavily subsidized, and there's a narrow spectrum of products that are more profitable based on volume production.
Right.
But as well spreads, people will begin to demand better quality foods and more variety, and there will be changes. But of course, I'm not trying to be an optimist here. Although I think the world is constantly improving. The world continually becomes a better place to live.
Well, data backs you up on that point. Most studies indicate the percentage of people living in poverty and starvation as a percentage of the whole has been going down for a few decades now, as well as levels of violence. Many measures of human prosperity have been increasing. It's even though if you watch the news, things aren't people don't think anything's getting better. But the point that you're making though is that the wealthier societies choose to have a cleaner environment and choose to eat better. Is that correct?
I think that does come with increasing wealth and increasing knowledge of the health consequences of how they're eating.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can see it. Even the fast food places are having to expand their menus and to offer better food.
That's
than
right.
they did in the past.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking about. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that Morgan Spurlock documentary where he ate McDonald's for 30 days. But I thought about that, and I thought, he could have gone to McDonald's and ate the chicken breast without the bun, and he could have ate their salad, and his health metrics may have even increased if he just did intermittent fasting and just ate the meat in the salad.
Sure.
But that's not what most people go to McDonald's for right now, anyway. I guess. Yeah. One thing. Now, lastly, I just want to get onto a little slightly different topic. I wanted to ask you about. Now, you obviously adopted your exercise regimen and your diet in order to preserve your health and live a little bit longer. I just wondered if you had considered any other type of interventions that some people might say are a little more radical in order to extend your life. Say such things as bioengineering or gene therapy, things like this that might be coming down the pipe, 5-10 years from now. Are you on that bandwagon, or are you comfortable where you're at?
Well, I'm a big fan of modulating gene expression, but I do it through my diet and through my sleep and activity levels. I'm actually practicing a form of gene therapy by
oh, sure, I understand. Yes,
doing what I do.
I'd call it natural gene
I'm
therapy.
not a fan of the other stuff yet. I think there's the leverage is really in, first of all, being wealthy. Being well educated and wealthy will have more profound effect on your health and longevity than just about anything else. Just show up for work on time and do good work.
and that's the best thing.
Be careful how you drive. I think aging is an event-driven process, and there are episodes in our lives where people go through accelerated aging, and the way to avoid those episodes, which I've managed pretty much to do, even though I've lived through, we all live through death of parents and eventually spouses and so forth, if you live long enough, and friends. Got friends dropping around all around me, but if you understand, that you can't control events anyway, that you have your moment of power is now, and whatever choice you make, the world is going to evolve in a random way from this point forward. And so you really can't fail, because you make the right choice. That doesn't mean you're going to get what you want. The world is full of all these random number generators working all around us.
And
if you just have a sort of a patience and a willingness to understand you can't control things, you can only control your own input. So I drive safely. I eat well. I sleep well. I avoid the long-term chronic stress